Alright, what's up everybody, Marhunt. Wait a minute, is it okay. What's up everybody, Marhunt13 here, and let's just get with the video. Okay? Excuse me. Alright, so, this story starts off immediately after they leave the digital world from part 1. With Davis staying a little bit with Davis grabbing Kari and staying a little bit behind. Well, having her hand staying a little bit behind for like a couple of seconds. How long would it take for them to fall out? I say 30 seconds. Yeah, 30 seconds. So, this is when we see Davis and Kari come out the portal with everyone else jumbled on top of each other. As Kari looked at Davis and said, "You knew that would happen, didn't you?" With Davis giving a mischievous grin as everyone then proceeds to go home with Cody and Yoli requesting how they want to go to the digital world. With Davis thinking that, no, you really don't. As he just covers his eyes, closes his eyes as he walks home. Well, him and Kari walk home, since I'm pretty sure their apartment buildings are close to each other. Like the apartments they stay in. So as Davis and Kari walk home, they have talk even with Kari apologizing to Davis about keeping the whole Digidestin thing a secret for so long. With Davis saying that he's kept a similar secret, so he wouldn't even have the right to be angry at her even if he didn't. Plus, along with the fact that she's his best friend, and he understands since it's the digital world, and the digital world is wild as shit. Whew. I mean, especially in the games with everything attacking you out of the goddamn paint. Which, fun fact, I'm currently playing Digimon Next World, or have two. Both of my partners are Mega, and actually, I might just hook that up after I'm done recording this. And questions for later. So, yes, Davis kind of, walks Kari home as he watched her go inside the house before going inside his. With June asking Davis with their parents not being there, as Davis sees that only June is here, and as he says he's not surprised. As he thinks, I'm not surprised they're not here. As Davis looks at the floor with a slight grin, thinking over his parents, him clenching his hands in anger, with June coming up and asking him the hell he's doing coming home so late. With Davis explaining that, for whatever reason, the digital... The fuck is outside? Davis explaining the reason why he took so long in the bathroom this morning, along with the fact that the digital world was open, and that Kari, Ty, Izzy, which I think June would meet them out of just mutual Davis being like I do think it would make more sense for canonically June to be familiar with everyone else in the Digidestin, and I guess maybe too before she left. As well, thanks to Davis and Kari being childhood friends, you'd think they would meet his big sister, the person who kind of raises them both in the anime and the English and Japanese dubs. And, kind of seems like his parents couldn't give two shits about him otherwise. So, yeah. So, yeah, besides that. So, in all my lists that has Digimon 02, I say she does know them. Alright, good. So, none of y'all better bring it up like, oh, she doesn't know them. I explained it here. So, yeah. Let's get back into the video. As June is surprised that Ty, Kari, this TK kid, that Izzy are all somehow a part of this whole Digimon thing. Which June is actually kind of really wary of the Digimon in his timeline. After seeing how they will basically traumatize their brother for the rest of his life, along with knowing that they're the reason that Ryo kid is dead, it doesn't really sit well. Now she says, why don't you talk to Ken about it? You two saved both worlds once, do you think? As Davis says, that probably wouldn't work, as him and Ken haven't talked ever since what happened to Sam. Which in this timeline, the whole Sam getting little isekai bit happened a bit after they came back. So after Rio was already dead, air quotation marks, since I'm doing the Tamer's What If for this. So yeah. The fuck? Thunder and storming tonight. Shit. So yeah. As the with also V. Actually, no, never mind. Flame Dramon isn't. That's right. Ooh. Alright. So yeah. With things taking place like that, as Davis does end up going to his room, opened up his computer, and sending out an email to Ken about the whole digital world and Digimon Emperor thing. Oh, if only Davis knew what his dear old best friend was doing. As we see Davis just laying on his bed, thinking, brooding, as he wondering how the hell is Vimon alive. As he thinks about it so much, his brain kind of going overload on it. Digimon outright said that, as Davis remembers it like it was yesterday, after the battle Millenniumon, as you hear Davis scream out Ryo's name as he gives one final tearful smile at him, with an explosion going off. Being caught in the blast of you have voiced Fuedramon and Millenniumon, saving the two boys in the process, but seemingly losing his life in the next. As we see the two boys, Davis holding Vimon as he disintegrates in front of his eyes, with Vimon telling him he's sorry. This is when Davis hears from Digimon that because Vimon used every last bit of his strength, including everything in his Digicord, he can never be reborn. That's everything. If he couldn't be reborn, then what the fuck was this today? As Davis seemingly angry, but with look of relief on his face at the exact same time. He doesn't know what to do. Now then, I say that 2 to 3 days go by after this. We seeing now during this time, this is when all the original Digidestin meet up and talk about because again, I feel like the anime and Japanese didn't really go over the fact that Davis seems to be childhood friends with Kari and Extension knows Tai and Sora. So, now then, who set this meeting up? Tai, after finding out about this. And also, yes, he is the one that ran out to get everyone, including Sora, which led the two to rediscovering something they felt for each other a little bit ago. I'm also just hanging out, Tai got her some flowers. So, yeah. And yes, any what if I do, you best not expect Sora to ever get with that, because I swear that every god possible, that was the stupidest decision of the Digimon team to ever make. Just don't make no fucking sense. But besides that retarded ass shit, this is made for kids, I can say it, YouTube. Let's get back into this. So yeah, with Sora being shot that day, this is a Digidestin. Sora is kind of grown to be another big sister for Davis. She still remembers when her, Kai, and Kari met him, just a year before they went to the digital world. Actually, no, about 2 years before they went to the digital world. Davis was actually able to keep up with Tai in soccer, got hurt, so they left them a helping hand, and they've been close ever since. Even now, yes, Davis does see Kari as a big sister as well. So as Sora thinks about this, which Tai sees as something wrong, as after the meeting and Easy telling that he'll go check the computer first thing in the morning, with Sora, as we see Ty and Sora, just as Ty walks Sora home, basically. They chat, with Sora giving Ty a kiss on the cheek before going inside our house. As we see Ty just standing there, blush on his face, as he turns around and walks away. So now we skip 2 days. Izzy went to go check it but couldn't go in at the time, so they had to reschedule. But something came up and they had to reschedule. Davis found out that the digital portal was still open, and they went and destroyed a spire or two. Actually, never mind. So yeah, 2 or 3 days go by as TK is stimming over the fact that Kari had. What's the right way to say this? Put it, really. TK's jealous of Davis and Kari, as he's seen during these 2 to 3 days how they've interacted with each other, even recalling the moment when he walked in the classroom and saw their hands on top of each other, which this was just these 2 making up again and promising to keep each other safe, or something like that. You can come up with it. It was just giving like a random one off my head, who knows. So yeah, as TK spews in jealousy, in his own jealousy, as he's not just jealousy over the whole Kari situation, but the jealousy that Davis seems to be able to do anything. Hell, he's good at soccer, he's smart, he has some kind of mysterious past that they don't know about. Hell, he went to the digital world and seems far more, in just one turn, he seems far more experienced than all of them, being able to take down a whole horde of the Rhino Digimon, Volcanomon, whatever the hell they are, like a couple of hits. And also, it seems like he already knew of Digi-Armor Energize. It's like, in TK's mind, what can he do? Compared to what TK has done, he felt so useless, so pathetic, so uneventful with the whole with everything that happened from Iota to Devimon to all the way to what was the name of Apoclimon? Shit. Apoclimon. Okay. Apoclimon. Okay. The whole Apoclimon, while he helped, obviously not enough. And with Patamon not being able to digivolve, he just feels like even more kind of shit. He even feels like more kind of shit. So like, and along with seeing this, Davis and Kari, and this feeling of helpless weaknesses that happened just like in the original time. Things that wouldn't show up present in the original timeline. Which I will give a backstory on why everything's changing, since I'm gonna do kind of multiverse with these type of videos. What if the main character went to the digital world early? You'll understand why. I'll probably make a next video sometime. Might just pop out too today. And with this, Davis was kind of busy with soccer, and just barreling over what happened, as all the older Digidestiners decided to come up with a meeting again to discuss things. So yeah, as this happens, Davis gets caught up in the soccer match, so they have to go without him, while Davis sets up a coordinate to somewhere that seems peaceful, not dark or anything. Unfortunately for them, someone's jealousy finally got the best of them. As Carl ends up thinking, what do we need that Davis for? I'm just as good, even better. Letting his insecurities get the best of him as he types in the coordinates from the original timeline. And so they go in. Now then, while things happen similar to Kevin without Davis being there, yeah, well, things happen to Canyon without Davis not being there. Yes, Davis ends up having a talk with his soccer coach, which does end up with Kari, which tells him that he shouldn't date team members, siblings, or something like that, As we see Davis finally get off to the digital world, things have been taking kind of a shit turn. Without someone at Digivolve energized, Cody and Yoli not having Digimon partners, the others not being able to Digivolve, they kind of get their asses kicked handed to them by Signemon. Or Signemon. I'm going with Signemon. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, and someone's captured in this timeline. Since Davis isn't here, Ken goes for someone that he knows is close to Davis. As under the glasses of the Digimon, we can see a smile. As he remembers the thought about Davis telling him about this one girl that usually loves to wear pink. As a sick and twisted smirk appears on his face. One of pure nebulence as the ground opens up when we capturing Gallimon and Kari. Now then, just as when Simon's about, just when Montemon is about to send the bone. What was his signature? Bone boomerang, guys. He sends a bone boomerang. This is when a fire rocket comes out of nowhere. As then another fire rocket, then another. As one ends up breaking and another until Montemon just straight up says fuck it and leaves. As Ken calls him back. As we see Davis in his dripped out suit, his cloak, everything, as Davis ends up jumping on as Davis ends up jumping onto Flame Dramon, as he jumps down and he asks what the hell happened? Why the hell were the coordinates changed? As when Davis got the computer room, he realized the coordinates were changed, so he ended up fixing them up to where he'd teleport by Flame Dramon, Vmon now, at that point, Digivolve and make it over to where they were. As Kari said, he's sorry that Kari was captured. Now it's lights something in Davis. And what this is pure rage. As he grabs TK by the string, telling him, what the hell do you mean you got Kari? He screams at it. He lets out with severe anger at TK. As TK says sorry, as David kind of yells at him, saying, "You sorry about what? Getting our friend captured by a fucking psychopath? Yeah, no, yeah. Just go ahead, say sorry." David still in anger. After Davis is done, kind of lets his anger calms down a bit, with Izzy telling him to calm down, with Cody and Elite telling how they don't want to be in the digital world anymore, with Davis telling them to kind of shut up, with Yoli then proceeding to yell back at Davis, saying, "What do you know? I bet you cried the first time you cried here." Davis already in his Dasuki, already in his pure anger of having his best friend / crush being kidnapped by someone who's very psychotic, and with Davis' own intense emotions to the digital world. This leads to Davis yelling at her, snapping. Of course he was scared. He was 6 when he got pulled to this hellhole of a world. And he was stuck here for a year. Which, yes, Davis is physically 14, since he was stuck in the digital world for a year. Which this leads to shock on Yoli and Cody's faces, but for mostly one of just stunned on TK. As for Izzy, when he hears 6, his eyes shoot up in kind of fear as he looks at Davis with shock and sorrow in his eyes, as he can't just help but think a 6-year-old was pulled here. As Davis then Dasuki then tells, you know what, fuck it. You two get Izzy. Make them search, he says. As he says he'll go looking for Kari. As he does walk towards them and opens up the locator on their digivices, which pulls up the map for their Digi-Eggs. As David tells Izzy, they take all that to lead the group and take them there. Oh, and right, Sora too. Wait a minute. No, never mind. Sora's not here. She kind of got stuck in with Ty, with their old teacher. So yeah. So just Izzy, Tentamon, and Biyomon. Yeah. So yeah. As they get off, Tatsuki goes to look for the Digimon Emperor, searching for Kari's Digivice. As we switch to Kari's POV, as the last thing she remembers is falling and being grabbed by Diggermon. God damn it, Digimon. That could be change one word and you get cancelled for sure. Unless I'm pronouncing it wrong, which I might. Who knows? So yeah, as Kari wakes up with stranded over a cliff with Ash. This is when she sees the Digimon Emperor for the first time. He's in what we describe, what he usually. He's in what he is in the anime. I don't really. As the blueberry-haired boy, he goes on his same monologue. I mean, just change it around a little bit so it fits for Kari, but besides that, his monologue is still the same. So, yeah. Now then, this is when things go in canon for the original group as they find the Digi-Egg of knowledge and love and pick it up, Now then, as we see, Davis finally find where the Digimon Emperor is with Flamedron behind him. As he yells at him to come out, he knows he's there. With Davis' eyes somewhat becoming gold. Now then, just while away on the other team the B team is there, Davis, the A team, ends up Flamedron fights with Simon, and well, this leaves Davis and the Digimon Emperor staring at each other with malice, with Davis' eyes going golden. Now then, just as when things are about to attack Kari, this is when the others show up. And then they get to see a little spectacle. Davis and the Digimon Emperor just having an outright fist fight, with, I guess, them breaking some rocks here and there. So, yeah. Just a pure-on outright fist fight. The Digimon Emperor swings a punch. Davis ducks, punch him in the mouth. Bink, bink, bink. Just going at it. Which one of these end up with Davis grabbing the Digimon Emperor by the leg before spinning him, for actively using his full power, his full strength, physical strength, to pick him up, spin him around, and throw him like a rag doll into a wall. Well, he bounces off the floor a little bit before hitting the wall. As we see Davis drop down, clutching his chest. Yeah, you might have to use this power, he thinks. Drinks too much. As Davis is clutching his chest in pain and breathing, as the Digimon Emperor gets up, somewhat bleeding. Miyamoto, you really are special. As Davis realized the way that he called him Miyamoto. As you remember something from all these years ago with Ken sometimes mocking being kind of ass to Davis by calling him Miyamoto. No, it can't, Davis thinks. As the Digimon Emperor pulls out a black version of Davis's Digivice. Wait a minute, what is one? He raises his Digivice and says, "This is Mormon, dark." Actually, no, just Digivolve. As Mormon is encased in a black-like, sicklish energy. As we see Wormon with the words evolution right after it. As we see from below him a dark mist-like shadow pops up before enveloping him, forcing him to grow. And what comes out is green. I can't describe seeing. One of the only Digimon I can't really describe, Singmon. What the fuck? So yeah. Excuse me. So yeah, Stigma. This is when Flame Dramon finally gets back over there. Simon flew away a little bit. So, well, another fist fight commits with Flame Dramon attacking. With Flame Dramon attacking Stingmon as he wonders. As then is when Flame Dramon speaks up. Is it really you, Wormmon? He says, with the assassin like Digimon and selling nothing as he just rushes him. And as this leads to their fight, this is when a gust cloud ends up bursting from the clash of Stingmon and Flame Dramon. As this is when we see that everyone by this point made it to the surface. So they're in the field again. So yeah, as Stingmon and Flame, as Kendon looks at TK, knowing damn well that he's feeling insecure about it. As he says to TK, "Oh, look at you, little boy of hope, not being able to do it." Something demeaning, And thus, after the dust cloud pops up, this one leads to Ken and Wormmon riding away. But not before Simon. Well, this leads to him flying away with Stingmon, with Simon falling behind, but not before. Excuse me. TK running after them, telling them to get back, angry at the Digimon Emperor's words, only for Simon to come out with his sickle attack. I don't know the first name of it, but the sickle one. His arm, his head going purple as he swings. Now David, still tired here. God damn idiot, he thinks. As his eyes turn gold and orange again, as he rushes, rushes fast, making about 5 kilometers. Actually, no, he just gets there and pushes TK out the way, as his left shoulder is unfortunately met with a sickle. That's the next thing everyone there sees is blood spearing from the wound. As Simon then continues to fly off. As we see, actually no, I hit him in the right side of his shoulder. Yeah. As Davis lands on the ground, blood bleeding through his cloak. Damn, he thinks they got away. Now then, everyone there is kind of strictly and horrified for a bit. Just for a bit, as they saw someone's shoulder get torn slightly open. The Suki ends up rising up, and before falling back down, and the first person to actually get to him is Kari. Oh, goddamn. Okay, fuck it. First person to get to him, Kari. As she asks Suki if he's feeling any type of poison, stuff like that. As Kari using, I guess she would have some kind of, actually no, with Izzy coming over, and with Davis telling Vemon to go get some herbs. Those healing things that, how there's some herbs in games, some of the Digimon games, that if you mix them up with something, you can get a heal. Basically, Vemon does that with fire, I don't know. Puts it over Davis's wound and starts to heal it somewhat to where the bleeding stops. But also they kind of had to tore Davis's shirt just a bit. Actually, no. Well, they had to take off his cloak first, and his jacket, which were covered in blood. Rip off a piece of that and put it on the wound. But during something, while Kari is applying the makeshift bandage, wrapping it up, as this someone Kari looks and somewhat glares at the wound. As she sees something else on Davis, turning her head a little, she sees that Davis's shirt is kind of mangled, and she can see some kind of scar riding up there to his other shoulder. As she wondering what happened. But now's not the time, as they need to get to Joe. Thankfully, the meeting is today. So, things going as they get to the meeting, which leads to them walking into Matt's dad's place. As any of the Digiteam were there, are just shocked that why the hell is Davis here? And more importantly, why is his shoulder wrapped up? With them telling Joe that, with Card telling Joe immediately that come fix Davis. With Davis says he's fine. Card just gives him that look, that little glare, which makes him shut up. When Joe looks at the woman, as he realizes that it's deep, but not that deep, So he wraps it up, with Davis and Demi Villon finally passing out. They both end up passing out on the sofa. Now, then this is when the Digidestin have a talk, yada yada, about who will be the leader. They come to the conclusion that Davis has been to the digital world before, so he's one of the candidates. But this is when Izzy tells them that Davis said his first trip to the digital world when he was 6. With Izzy saying with him doing the math, that mean that Davis would have went before any of them. Now then, this leads to shock, gasp, things like that. But as Carr looks on and what the fuck? That Carr looks in somewhat sadness, wondering that has this been the thing that Davis told her that he was lying to her about through their entire friendship? Carr didn't realize is that Davis didn't seem to somewhat change until, say, 4 to 5 months until like their year and 4 to 5 months after they met. So, but 5 months. Those 5 months after they met is when Davis was pulled in. Carr, you can guess. As well, some of the boys in there are just horrified that a 6-year-old had to go through that, with Joe wondering how, and then Izzy needs to explain. You remember what Gehenna said? That there were Digidestined that were there before us? And what Izzy says, maybe that was Davis. And then he says, before any of you say anything, remember, the time wasn't synced with the digital world for there. Davis saying he was there for almost a year, and considering how fast things moved from there on in, it could have been hundreds of thousands of years since the time that Davis was there. And this is when Davis ends up coming in with the hearing of him being the leader. With Davis looking at them. Davis has a somewhat chat with him about how he'll be the leader, but he doesn't really like the fact that, yes, it's the last time he was. Poor Rio. Which Davis still can't help but blame himself about. So after this meeting ends with Davis becoming the new leader, and TK be somewhat even more jealous, but we'll get into more of that later. As we see Davis, Ty, and Kari walking away. As Davis ends up stopping Hikari, as he actually uses their names, not their nickname, Taichi, Hikari. I have something I need to tell you. As Davis realizes if there are 2 people he can trust with everything that happened when he was pulled into the digital world, it's them. Yeah, no, it's them, he thinks. 2 people he can trust more is someone who's basically like a big brother to him, a role model, and a girl he has a crush on that's been his best friend for years. But the only 2 people that could even come close to being more close to Davis in his eyes are Rio and Ken. But, we won't get into what happened with those 2. It's, watching this scene, you kind of know. But yeah, with that, I'm on 13.